Wow. Hey, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Just gonna listen to a little bit more music while we wait for everybody to join. Thanks for again taking the time to be here. Appreciate everybody. Wow. Okay. We got a pretty good crowd, I guess. Please like and share if you haven't. Pretty good video, pretty good book we're gonna get into. Again, I have so many books I've had just links for or saved up all these years, and then you file them, and then you just forget about them for a while, and then you run into them again. And then I gotta do this video. All right, and then I forget again. But definitely a book. We're gonna try to get as much as we can read today, and also we're gonna be taking a look at some great artifacts and images of these artifacts. A lot of them that I know a lot of you are aware of, but a lot of people ain't. And just once you guys will see them, just I ask myself, like, why didn't they show us these things, growing up, more detailed? They really kept our eyes somewhere else. They're in school telling us, hey, old world over there, Mesopotamia over there, out of Africa over there, out of Asia over there. And they kept us ignorant from our own culture over here, from our own ancestors, from our own people, our own arts, our own industries, and gave credit to other people. All right. Welcome. Now I can see who's really subscribed. Got to be subscribed 20 minutes or more. You want to comment today. We ain't dealing with trolls or nothing like that today. Thanks for everybody that tuned in. Let's go ahead and head over to the book. Let me know if the music is ever too loud over my voice, because it's hard for me to hear. I got a headphone on, and I'm just on the mic, so I can't really hear the audio or the background. But pura vida, mi gente. Your life. Take that breath, guys, before we begin. Take that breath. Wow. Yes. We're going to get into this book today, Sun Circles and Human Hands. The Southeastern Indians, Art and Industries. Edited by Emma Lila Funderburk, Mary Douglas Funderburk Foreman, from 1957. Okay. Yeah. Gonna do a lot of reading, but we're also gonna look at a lot of good images. All right. Hope you guys enjoy. Welcome. Greetings. Pura vida. Pura vida. Says here, chapter 1, 4 cultures. Thousands of Indian artifacts have been discovered in the southeastern United States. Projectile points, tools, ceremonial objects, and ornament mark the remains of village sites, burial grounds, and native camps. These are found along rivers and creeks, in plowed fields, at springs, salt licks, rock shelters, caves, shell mounds, earth mounds, and valley passes. Sorry, I was just doing something here on the side. Archaeological evidence indicates that Indians in varying numbers inhabited parts of the Southeast as early as 8 to 15,000 years ago. Possibly even longer, and possibly earlier, like they're saying. These were the descendants of the many waves of migrants who came, dodged the hijack, not from Asia, that's that Bering Strait hijack. That Bering Strait hijack. We know better than that now, right? Successive Indian cultures in the Southeast are often classified into 4 general culture periods: Paleo Indian, Archaic, Woodland, Mississippi. Calendrical or time dating has been difficult to establish and is subject to change as more advance is made in archaeological methods. However, the chronological succession of cultures has been established by several procedures. Right? This is how they kind of say, oh, these people were here first, and then these people, and then these people. We got to go with their classifications. You got to kind of touch the hijack a little bit, but it's more for reference to kind of know time periods, right? Stratigraphic archaeological excavation has resulted in the skillful removal of soil and debris. Layer after layer has been carefully examined to recover every evidence of human occupation. Many sites have yielded proof of long habitation. Closely associated with stratigraphic excavation has been careful observation and study of the relationship between the archaeological and geological remains. It is significant, for instance, that fluted projectile points have been found with the bones of animals now extinct and near stream beds, far from existing river courses. The presence of or absence of European trade goods at various Mississippi period sites has aided in time dating. Two other methods of projecting calendrical dates are by dendrochronology or tree ring dating, and by radiocarbon dating. So again, Dr. Hijacks and all the ways they try to determine things, right? Archaeological discoveries indicate that the various culture traits did not change abruptly from one generation culture period to the other. There were many centuries of transition between each of the four major stages of cultural development. When simultaneous with the introduction of new methods and artifacts, there was continued use of certain of the old articles. The gradual modification of types and practices frequently developed at different rates, even among contemporary near sites. However, there were basic changes in craftsmanship and circumstances of living, which were shared to some extent by most of the southeastern sites at some time in the progression of culture. All right, so this is, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go. So they got the Paleo Indian culture period. They're saying the first inhabitants, Paleo, meaning old, of the Southeast came in gradual influx. And they try to say, they came in from Asia and all that. So we kind of dodged the hijack. It says Paleo Indians lived a nomadic life, ate the meat of large animals they collectively killed, and supplemented their diet with berries, bark, nuts, fruits, and season. They sought convenient and natural habitation sites as caves or overhanging rocks in the Tennessee Valley area. Their habitation sites included small knolls near springs, lakes, or streams, and sites that pass approaches to a valley or on slopes near. No human skeleton remain have been found at Paleo Indian campsites. That's, they have found, old bones in the mounds and all that, very old. So you gotta touch the hijack. You already know, previous videos we've done, forbidding archaeology series. I got, a lot of things they don't want you to know because it's gonna disprove their whole time periods, their whole Bering Strait migrations and all that. And I know a lot of people, you can't skip that. There's no proof of all that. They can say it right here as much as they want. They don't have sources for that part, guys. So then we got their cave culture or old, their explanations are kind of funny. I just read them to you guys so you can see what's in here, and maybe people might want to know. So the centuries passed and primitives gained more knowledge. Primitives, right? Gain more knowledge of their surroundings. A slow progression of changes in their economic habits and habitation sites resulted. To supplement the food supply, they learned to gather mussels from the river shoals and bivalves from the flats of bays and coastal areas. These shells were discarded in gradually mountain heaps along the banks of rivers, bays, and coasts. Upon the rising heaps of shells, natives built temporary huts of poles, hide, and brush. They dug fire pits, lined them with large river pebbles, dumped in bivalves, and broiled them over the hot stone and coals. They probably heated stones and dropped them into stone. All right, that was a type of a way they cook. Remember, with these hot stones, they found that. What was that? That mound complex. I forget the name. I did the video on it. I think it was in Georgia. So the hot stones, wooden or leather containers to heat food, the many broken river pebbles found at archaic sites may have resulted from such practices. In outdoor kitchens or temporary huts, archaic people probably store small quantities of roots, bark, berries, nuts, and dried meat. Okay, hold on, guys. Somebody say, what video is it? Hey, I got over 800 videos. Okay, mounds. So, you can do things like this, guys, and you might find some of my videos. So I just put my name, put the word mound. So we got this one. Oh, Poverty Point. That's the one. The people of Poverty Point, archaic civilization.
Culture.
Sorry. So the people of Pottery Point, archaic civilization, mound builders, cooking clay balls, trade. And this is the cover. Oh man. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, this is the cover right here, Pottery Point. All right, so that's one site they're talking about. All right, we got receipts. A distinctive feature of the Archaic period was the occurrence of flint workshops in the shell middens. At many sites in the Tennessee Valley area, these occurred during the Middle Archaic period. Below that level, there was only a limited amount of shipped flint in the midden. The flint workshops were covered with chips, spalls, cores, broken points, and rejects. Hammerstones and evidence of percussion chipping were found. In addition to chipped points, the archaic natives developed a variety of other chip tools, including drills, scrapers, knives, and celts. Now, of course, all the out-of-place objects and anything resembling old world stuff, they're not going to tell us, they're not in this book. Pegged ground, polished, and drilled stones. The first stone artifacts. Of this kind, of this type are found at archaic sites. These include throwing stick, weights or charms, beads, bark gorgets, axes, and tubular pipes. Other stone artifacts of the archaic period were stone bowls, bell-shaped pestles, mortars, grinding stones, and pitted or nutting stones. Bone and antler tools and ornaments frequently occur at archaic sites. These include awls, butkins, needles, drifts, flakers, projectile points, fishhooks, prickers used by basket makers, shaft straighteners, animal jaw scrapers, pins, and combs. The archaic craftsmen decorated some of these with carved geometric designs. Occasionally, the remains of a worked human bone is found, as in the case of the bowl made of a human skull found in the Pickwick Basin, Alabama. Animal teeth were notched or drilled for ornaments and tools. During the Archaic period, natives began using plant fibers, vines, canes, rushes, and barks for baskets. The bivalves may have been gathered by means of nets for stone net sinkers are found at some archaic sites. Fiber baskets and wooden vessels were forerunners of stone bowls. Wood was also used for hafting points and tools, building huts and frames, and for making canoes. Burials. Many of the archaic people buried their dead in circular graves near their hut. They often flexed the bodies and sometimes placed them in a sitting position. Some bodies were wrapped in skin, placed in baskets, or covered with bark. Skull burials, interment of disarticulated bones, and cremation were practiced also. At archaic sites, dog burials are occasionally found beside the human burials, guys. This is a deep one right here because they're not giving us the dates, but this is really old. We're talking about just like what they're saying the ancient Egyptians were doing, right? With Anubis or the dogs, the jackals, with the kings, so they can lead them in the underworld. This was first practiced here, guys. It was actually practiced in North America before they did that in Mexico. They found they kind of found older ones here. They found cat burials and all that. We've shown it, just like the Egyptian style. So again, dogs buried beside the human burials. It is significant that a few material possessions as stone pipes, bowls, or ornaments were purposely placed with some of the late archaic burials. Though such articles did not accompany all burials, they do point to the possible beginning of a burial ceremonial complex. Some of the artifacts and graves appear to have been purposely broken or ceremonially killed. It is speculated that this might have been done in order to allow the spirit of the ornament or tool to escape and be of further service to the deceased. Long-distance trade. All right. One of the significant developments of the Archaic period was the beginning of long-distance trade. So again, that's what I'd be saying. We got imaginary boundaries today. So people, I'm from Alabama or I'm from here, and They think they have no connection to like ancient Mexico or any other place, North America, California, anywhere. But trade, long distance trade was going on heavily. At some late archaic sites are found drilled shell beads made from Kurimeo and world of marine univalves traded inland from the Atlantic and Gulf Coast. Rolled copper beads have been found in limited quantities. The raw material possibly originated as far away as Lake Superior. Steatite, flint, mica, sandstone, and ochre were other articles of archaic exchange. The primary weapon of the archaic period was the throwing stick, a discovery which is thought to have been introduced from Asia, thought to have been, you see how never anything from here, right? No, we introduced that over there. What you mean, Asia? This is Asia Major, India Superior. What you talking about? It is believed to have been used throughout the archaic period and well into the Woodland centuries. The throwing stick was designed to add leverage to a man's arm. It enabled the hunter to hurl a missile at greater distance. The increased number and variety of weapons, tools, and ornaments produced during the archaic period indicates that rudimentary specialization in craftsmanship was developing. And the only reason people have, guys, you gotta understand, and they just say this so simple. The only reason people are able to do this, have time to do work their art, work their talent, is because they have agriculture. They got that corn, agriculture. We're first with agriculture. That's what helped us settle down, become civilized. You know what they call it, civilized. Build, architect, do craftsmanship. We had agriculture. That way you got time because the crops are growing. You harvest, you got things stored. You don't have to be out there hunting all the time or just trying to, scrape up any means necessary just to survive. And you're like, that's what you're worried about. You can't worry about making a basket or making art, ornaments, earrings. Get what I'm saying? Makeup, things that smell, It was natural for some natives to be more skilled than others as hunters, flint workers, basket makers, wood carvers, stone quarriers, or stone drillers. With the development of special skills was doubtless also the beginning of simple barter, whereby one native could exchange his surplus fish hooks, baskets, or flints for another's surplus bowls, beads, or pipes. Yo, you got this, I got this. What's up? Let's trade. The appearance of new types of artifacts indicated a growing list of wants and needs and an attempt to supply them. They were probably more conscious of their personal appearance or more ceremonial in activities, as is implied by their practice of depositing red ochre and ornaments for burials. The most revolutionary craft to appear in the top layers of some shell mound sites amid predominantly archaic material was pottery. From the late archaic site, Pottery Point, Louisiana, Ford and Webb, in 56 report some effigy forms, which they regarded as substitutes for cooking stones. Though fiber-tempered and even granular-tempered potsherds occur at transitional archaic woodland levels, the development of pottery is generally considered a woodland characteristic. It says here woodland culture period. All right, here goes another of the periods. Don't worry, guys, we're about to get into some great artifacts and images. It says here population continued to grow and to spread from the largest streams to the smaller creeks and quiet sloughs. The spread of more numerous woodland population probably accelerated as the bow and arrow gradually displaced the throwing stick. Near these secluded village sites, the woodland people constructed burial mounds to hold their dead. These relatively small mounds, often conical in shape, were sometimes near a river. Frequently, there were two or more such mounds together. The number of burials in a mound varied from one to several dozen. Some were single interments, others were multiple burials on the same or varied from one to several, or different prepared surfaces. Some of the burial mounds were constructed over a period of time and built up in several layers. Occasionally shells, clay, logs, or stone slabs separated the layers or were placed around the individual or mass graves. A prominent feature of this specialized burial custom was the placement of ornaments and tools with the bodies. The tools and ornaments of the woodland people were similar to those of the archaic cultures, but they were more varied and often showed finer workmanship. Their tools included tool assemblage, was the large shaped greenstone, limestone, or flint spade, the presence of the spade was have indicated a rudimentary agricultural development. However, it was probably used for digging graves, scoping soil for burial mounds, bills, and excavating post holes for house framing. These spades are sometimes found in the graves under the skull of the skeleton or in the fill of the mound. Specialized pegged ground and polished stone articles found with woodland remains were poled celts, plummets, net sinkers or ornaments, pipes, elbow, platform, and occasional zoomorphic forms, medicine tubes, boat stones, expanding center gorgets, and a few ornamental or ceremonial effigies. Many archaic introduced tools as stone axes continued to be used. Copper artifacts increased in number and variety. They included real-shaped objects, chisels, celts, big symbol, ear spools, drilled beads, bracelets, rolled sheets, beads, tubes, a few copper-plated objects over stone or wood, including ear spools and gorgets, galena, mica, hematite, tar, red ochre, and asphalt have also been found in woodland graves. Bone and antler tools as skeletal remains are much rarer than at archaic sites. Such tools were probably extensively used, but have decayed. Shells other than mussels were more numerous at woodland than at archaic sites. Marginella and all Livella shells are numerous at some sites. Pearl beads and turtle carapaces, carapaces or carapaces have also been found. In addition to conch shell beads, conch dippers are a significant burial deposit. Shell tools have also occurred at some woodland sites. The woodland people doubtless made extensive use of wood also. Fragments and impressions of mats, baskets, and house frames are frequently found. Pottery. The presence of pottery vessels and pottery sherds at woodland period sites give evidence of a revolutionary change in culinary equipment. All right, culinary means they were cooking. Since women did the storing and cooking of food, they doubtless were responsible for most of the domestic pottery. Pottery vessels increased the ease and effectiveness of preparing food, enabled women to cook in pots over the fire, and provided a way to transport and store liquids easily. In addition, the making of vessels gave women an outlet for creative abilities, which allowed more freedom of design than did basketry. The first pottery in the Southeast was modeled. No, we're not. Sorry, I'm answering the chat. We're not just going over hunter-gatherers. We haven't even mentioned hunter-gatherers at all today. All right, we're going to show some amazing artifacts from the Southeast, some great art and industries they created. We're just reading the intro of the book, all right? And they're breaking down the different time periods, how they break them down. You know, they're saying Paleo Indian period and the Archaic period. We're reading right now about the Woodland culture period, and we're almost done. Okay, welcome. Over the long span of centuries of the Woodland culture period, the potter experimented with temper, firing form, and application of design. Much of the pottery was plain. However, on some of it, the maker attempted to imitate the chisel marks on stone bowls and the designs of basket weaves in order to produce these likenesses. The maker developed a variety of stamping and impressing methods. She used reed and brush marks, cord and fabric markings, and stamped designs with carved wooden paddles. When these were impressed on the plastic clay, they left a variety of check stamps, parallel lines, textile weaves, and complicated geometric designs. The potter also experimented with simple incising and with impressions made with the crinkled edge of a scalloped shell. At some transitional woodland Mississippi period sites, the remains of clay plaster, wattle, and dub from falling house walls has been found. All right? That, however, is generally Mississippi period characteristic. Woodland people often line their fire pits and sometimes their graves with puddled clay, but rarely plaster their house with it. How do they know, really? Copena culture focus. In the Tennessee Valley and other parts of Alabama, and near that area, the Middle woodland culture has been termed Copena because of the frequent presence of copper and galena burial offerings, all right, the numerous frequent presence, all right, copper, metalwork, metallurgy. At these sites, the initial burials beneath the mounds were often placed into clay-lined pits. The clay for the pits was brought in for that purpose. Some graves appear to have prepared head and footrests made of clay. Carefully placed burial offerings were arranged near the body, which in some cases had been wrapped in a mat or hide. Occasionally bark or logs were placed over the body and offerings before the grave was finally sealed with clay. The items they buried with their dead were distinctive and well made. They included highly polished pointed pole, greenstone celts, stone elbow, and occasional zoomorphic pipes, large schist spades, finely chipped ovate, flint knives, stone gorgets. I said finally, it's finely chipped, sorry. Flat with expanding center, conch shells, dippers, and large dig beads made from marine univalve shells, distinctive steamless shield-shaped projectile points, and a variety of copper articles, including rail-shaped objects, celts, beads drilled and rolled, large ear spools, and flat bar bracelets. Also, galena in the shape of cones, balls, or fragments. In the graves, ornaments are often found near the skeleton in their natural wearing position. Though pottery sherds have occasionally been found in the Copena mound fields, the pottery vessel was not a characteristic burial tribute of this focus, as it was at few other woodland sites. Some of the Copena artifacts found in burials appear to have been ceremonially broken and the parts deposited together. And this in other respects, the copper galena complex seems to be related to the advanced Hopewell culture of the upper Mississippi, Illinois, and Ohio Valley areas. Okay, related. The grave offerings of copper, galena, and conch shells indicated that north-south trade had increased. The Mississippi culture period. This is the fourth stage they're giving us, right? This is how they broke it down, right? So for us, it's like a reference. During the Mississippi period, culture changes appear to have been telescoped into a relatively few centuries. Among the sites well known for their distinctive ceremonial objects are Spiral, right, from the Spiral Mounds in Oklahoma, Moundville, Alabama, and Etowah, Georgia. I got videos on, I believe, all of these. Certain elements of their culture seem to represent a relatively abrupt change from the Southeastern woodland culture traits. However, other of their methods and designs express a continuity with the past and near sites, as the practice of stamp impressing some of the pottery at Etowah. It is debatable as to whether or not the influence of Indian traders and the influx of foreign native trade goods alone could have brought about all the changes and expansion in Southeastern designs, methods of craftsmanship, and ceremonial activities which were represented in the Middle Mississippi culture. The Mississippi period climax in the highest type Indian culture known to have existed in the Southeast. It is thought to have reached a peak probably between 1300 and 1600 AD. Mounds. The custom of building truncated platform mounds was widespread in the Mississippi period. Many show a profile of successive layers, built gradually over many years of occupation. The large flattened, top rectangular structures of earth were used as foundations for important buildings, temples, council houses, and dwellings of tribal leaders, all right? The Sharala, they built on high places. You guys didn't know that. At a few sites, burial and domiciliary mounds are found in the same village. Occasionally, what has appeared to be a structure mound has had in it one or more large burial pits or crypts with single or mass burials, which were probably those of tribal leaders. However, most of the large truncated mounds were primarily used as a base for buildings, which in some cases appeared to have been a mortuary temple or bone houses. Many archaeological excavations have revealed post-mold patterns and the impressions of fallen timber, defining the dimensions of public buildings and houses which were built on the truncated mounds. A few of the substructure mounds reached the height of 50 to 75 feet and the ground dimensions of 300 to 600 feet. Often they were more rectangular than square. However, the majority of hundreds of such earth structures scattered throughout the Southeast have been reported to be from 5 to 30 feet high and from 50 to 250 feet in ground dimensions, usually tapering toward the flattened top. At a few of the larger Mississippi period sites, as Moundville, Alabama, the natives constructed 30 to 40 mounds of varying sizes, all right? 30 to 40 mounds. At most sites, the number varied from 1 to 10. The doubtless depended upon the population of the site, its importance to the surrounding area, and the total length of time the site was occupied. The truncated domiciliary pyramid and its accompanying distinctive Mississippi period culture spread through the Southeast and far into the upper Mississippi Valley area, where there was more than one mound at a site. Their placement and gradation in size appeared to have been a part of a total village plan. The Temple Mound was presumably the tallest and elevated toward the sun. The council house was sometimes on an opposite mound and a public square between. Smaller mounds graded away from these. Ramps or steps were provided for easy access to the top. The steps were often reinforced with packed clay or carefully placed logs. Caches of finely finished artifacts, as blades, celts, points, etc., are occasionally found in the mound fills. In isolation, it may have been a ceremonial significance, as in Central America, just like in Central America. Welcome everybody in the chat. I see you guys. Much love. Thank you for joining. Got some great images. We're going to go over some great artifacts. The mounds are surrounded by the village area and cornfields. They were surrounded by what? The cornfields, the agriculture. That's why they had time to build mounds. They were often built on a bluff by a river near arable land. Frequently, the earth for building the mounds was secured from holes dug in the near area, which holes possibly served later as fish ponds. All right? Some sites had a canal or moat surrounding exposed sites. Such ditches probably furnished soil for the mounds, protection for the site, and were used for bringing canoes and fish nearer the village. Many sites had earth walls surrounding their unprotected site. Construction of the colossal earth structures doubtless required the expenditure of millions of man-hours. The natives had to dig the earth, transport it, probably in baskets, probably, they don't know how they did it, right? Shape and spread the dirt and pack it into place. The erection of earth mounds was doubtless a major community undertaking. All right, major. Agricultural villages, location of hundreds of such mound sites near arable land. Again, hundreds of mound sites near what? Fertile land, fertile, right? Kemet, fertile, black soil, rich, fertile black soil, right? From the Mississippi Delta. Hundreds. The frequent occurrence of charred remains of corn cobs and the remaining impressions of field rows and excavated areas indicate that agriculture was an important part of the Mississippi period economic life. Flourishing agricultural villages were found in the Southeast when the first European explorers arrived in the 16th century. All right, flourishing, agriculturists, farmers, we grew, we used the land, we had abundance, and gave thanks to the Great Spirit, gave the first fruits. They was like, wow, these guys got abundance, we need this land. Yeah, we need to take it from them. Early colonial writers and painters picture villages surrounded by cornfields. With a more secure means of making a living, natives could settle longer. Like I was saying earlier, guys, agriculture is what started civilization, and you're gonna trace agriculture back to America, not anywhere in the world. No matter what you say, oh, they said Mesopotamia, the Bible. Yeah, that's the fake one. That means between two rivers, between two bodies of water. We got our own Mesopotamia too. But there's no evidence. This is the difference, guys. When you go over there, they don't have no fossil or archaeological records of agriculture being practiced over there. We do. We got fossilized corn, fossilized squash, fossilized. They found all this stuff. They can find this stuff. The breadbasket, that's right. The archivist. Hey, shout out to the archivist. Make sure to subscribe to his channel. Check out his great content. Great content. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate it. All right, where was I? With a more secure, okay, we got that. So with more, that way, because they had agriculture, they could settle down, you know, longer in one side and build permanent type houses. The post molds of many middle Mississippi houses were rectangular to square. The vertical posts of the side walls were often placed into trenches rather than set into individual holes, as was more frequent at woodland sites. The poles were set from 6 inches to several feet apart and interlaced with branches or cane and plastered with clay. Others, oh, I lost my place. Sorry, guys. I was looking at the chat. I shouldn't have done that. Poles were set. Okay, I'm gonna just start right here. The poles were set. Okay, no. The hut roofs were often trashed. In some areas of the Norris Basin, Tennessee, the roof was also covered with earth, as was the earth lodge type structure found in the Macon Plateau culture, Ocmulgee, Georgia, the Ocmulgee Mounds. Clay was used not only for plastering the wattle, but also for making house floors, fire basins, and raised bench or step-like seats in council houses and dwellings. Burial customs. A diagnostic characteristic of the Mississippi period was the burial of pottery and other artifacts with the deceased, just like ancient Egypt, right? Many such objects represent the finest of native craftsmanship. The abundance of grave associations indicates the existence of a complicated burial ceremonial complex, guys. This is what I was saying. They're going to get into the vases and stuff probably, and we got a whole video on how they resembled. It was just like the Egyptian vases and the way they were burying these people and everything with these ceremonial vases. And what they're saying here, it seems like, this is a complicated burial ceremonial complex. Some of the vessels and other artifacts appear to have been purposely broken or killed, and many of the graves goods of the middle Mississippi people were decorated with cult in parentheses, or ceremonial symbols. As the hand eye, the hand eye, what you mean? That's not supposed to be here. What they talking about? We'll see. We'll show. Bones, skull, and others. In addition to objects of native craftsmanship, Indian graves of the late Mississippi period contain many European trade goods. The burial associations appear to have been placed there for a combination of reasons. Many were apparently special tributes, others personal possessions of the deceased, till others containers for food. The latter was probably thought to be of assistance to the deceased in his journey to another world. Just like the Egyptians. Fragments of matting and skin found in some of the burials indicate that the bodies were often placed on these materials or wrapped in them. Fragments of these have survived because of their nearness to copper objects, and impressions of them have been left in the puddled clay, which lined many graves. The burial practices of Mississippi period people were varied and numerous. A watercolor by John White, 1587, depicts a mortuary temple from 1587, guys, or bone house of a North Carolina coastal tribe. Other colonial writers describe temples in which bodies were placed for preservation of the skeleton. Archaeological excavations give evidence of the remains of burials in the mounds, which may have been similar stretched and flexed burials frequently occur. Burial of disarticulated bones and cremated remains in urns. Cremated remains in urns. And skull burials also have been found. It is evident that many local customs accompanied burial of the dead. However, the general practice of placing offerings into the grave indicates a similar ceremonial custom throughout the Southeast. Pottery. In addition to making pottery for domestic purposes, Mississippi period natives also made pottery for ceremonial and mortuary purposes, as mentioned above. The black ware of Moundville, decorated with engraved colt designs, they call it colt, was special purpose pottery deposited with burials and possibly used in other ceremonials. Burial urns of the Alabama River were another type of mortuary pottery. The many bowls with effigy handles, the painted bottles, and the modeled bottles and bowls were probably primarily used in ceremonies and deposited with burials. A variety of sizes of pots, bowls, and bottles are found throughout the Southeast. Among the eccentric forms are vertical and horizontal compounds, stirring neck vessels, gourd shapes, and modeled effigies. Various types of long-necked bottles are a diagnostic trait of the Mississippi period. Gel-tempered pottery has been found at most middle Mississippi sites. However, at a few such sites, the tempering appears to include other granular substances as found at early and late Mississippi sites. A small percent of the pottery at most middle Mississippi sites was completely coated with a wash or slip, was decorated by direct or negative painting, or treated with a combination of these. At a few sites as Nodena, Arkansas, painted pottery constituted a larger part of the total. Other features of Mississippi period pottery included applique or fillet bands and nodes, strap and loop handles, and arches or arcades around the neck of the vessel. Some of the modeled effigy vessel handles were hollow and were filled with pebbles for rattles. Many vessels were probably used interchangeably for domestic, ceremonial, and mortuary wear. The most elaborate in form and decoration were preserved in burials. Though pottery was primarily used in making vessels, it also was fashioned into pipes, spindle whorls, trowels, game discs, and a few ornaments. Several colonial writers refer to the use of pottery vessels for drums. Skin was stretched over the opening. Tools, ornaments, and ceremonial objects. Mississippi period people used many pegged, ground polished, and drilled stone objects. Among them were axes, celts, adzes, chisels, and pestles. Articles of more interesting shapes were the numerous and varied stone pipes, which ranged from the massive, flat-based platform pipes of the middle Mississippi culture to the slender, highly polished pipes of the historic era. Other polished stone objects included game stones, monolithic axes, spatulate forms, paint palettes, stone images, ear spools, beads, and pendants. Chipped flint was used for projectile points, drills, reamers, scrapers, and knives. Small triangular projectile points were found at many middle Mississippi sites. Chipped flint maces, batons, and ceremonial knives of outstanding size and workmanship have been found at leading middle Mississippi period sites and are depicted in native designs of the same period. Outstanding craftsmanship was also achieved in the production of copper artifacts, which were embossed and excised. The metal was hammered into thin sheets and fashioned into breastplates. All right, breastplates, right? Breastplates, hairpins, beads, batons, maces, celts, ear spools, and plaques. Repose decoration was frequently applied to these. The thin copper was used to plate wood, stone bone, and shell for ear spools and pendants. Indian art. Native art achieved remarkable symmetry and rhythm as a result of the craftsman's understanding of materials and technical skill. Ornaments and other artifacts were well proportioned and carefully finished. They were usually horizontally rather than vertically symmetrical. Examples of inverted symmetry occur occasionally. The rhythm and often copied formal balance of design reflected the craftsman's patient skill and his unhurried, orderly, custom-controlled life. A few talented artists probably produced the outstanding objects, and they were models for the less skilled. Though, okay, hold on, I gotta re-borrow. They're like, all right, you gotta borrow it again. Hold up, guys. So these are the kind of books you can't even download. You gotta borrow them. You gotta have a little count here, and they give you an hour. All right, that's too much. That's too much. All right. So, though the signs were usually applied freehand, they imitated traditional styles. Stone objects, especially, often reflected regional styles, while pottery decoration characteristically displays site stylization. Southeastern Indian art often expressed simplicity, singleness, and directness of representation. It was functional, domestic, and ceremonial. Though preoccupied with cult symbolism, Dr. Hijack, Middle Mississippi artists exhibited individuality and realistic designs. On some objects, native artists added lines to represent textures. Geometric designs occur more frequently than any other. This tendency might have developed from the craftsman's skill in working movements, spiral and plane, the ease with which many geometric designs can be made, and the natives' long experience with such, beginning with archaic basket decorations. There were few nature designs, as leaves, trees, and flowers. Occasionally, pottery vessel was modeled or painted in imitation of a gourd. The sun, an object of worship, was frequently represented. Stars and the moon were depicted infrequently. Humans, birds, and animals inspired realistic and conventional designs. At Spiral, the human figure was pictured more frequently than at any other site, though the head was usually shown in profile, while the body was either a profile of it or a forward position. Spiral produced a number of face front rather than profile heads. Although Southeastern Indian artists created few large objects, they produced many remarkable small artifacts on which the minuteness of design, form, or drill required technical skill. Free-flowing, well-proportioned designs in form and line are characteristic. Southeastern Indian art is distinctive because of its frequent harmony of materials, form, method of design, and decorative motive. Ceremonials. Symbolism was an important element of the art of the Mississippi people. The designs found on art objects from the major southeastern sites included the hand-eye, hand-eye, bone, skull, equal arm, cross, sun, star, triskel, step, arrow, human, bird, serpent, and spider. These doubtless had a special meaning for the natives who produced and used them. They were part of the burial ceremonial complex of a people who deified the sun, named their clans for animal, and had a complicated primitive social structure, right? So, that's the hijack when they say they were worshiping the sun. They don't know that. It just could represent something else to them. It is believed that many of the customs of, that's what they say, it is believed, right? That many of the customs of Middle Mississippi prehistoric people were reflected to some extent in the activities of historic tribes as the Natchez and Creek Indians. The divisions of authority within the tribe, chief, medicine men, priests, warriors, councilmen, war and peace villages and clans, the confederation of the Creeks, their annual harvest festival, the cross-placed logs used in their ceremonial fire, the careful arrangement of council house seating, the black drink, the custom of placing tributes and possessions with the dead, probably reflected much of the ritual of the life of Middle Mississippi people. Late Mississippi, or historic culture period. All right. Don't worry, guys. Hope you're enjoying the reading so far. You guys are going to enjoy all these artifacts when we actually start seeing what they're talking about. Archaeological investigations and historic writings indicate that the Middle Mississippi complex probably reached its height shortly before the exploration of the Southeast and was possibly already declining. Nah, when the 16th century explorers traversed the Southeast, that's what they want to say. Probably because that's when they came and conquered, right? Oh, it was already declining. Don't worry, like it wasn't our fault. And nah. Early descriptions of North America, as Lemoyne's description of Florida. All right, great book we're going to get into. And Harriet's description of the North Carolina coast, 1585, refer to the restlessness, frequent hostilities, and often an open war among the tribes. That don't mean anything. This may account for their decline in culture. No, it was because you guys came. During the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries, as France, England, and Spain fought for a foothold in the New World, they took advantage of the restlessness of the natives and provoked them to frequent war and intrigue. All right, divide and conquer. Do you guys you see? So they're like, oh, it was their fault. You know, they were already in the decline. It wasn't us. You know, we had nothing to do with it. We kind of used their differences though against them. You know, and made them fight each other for our benefit. They're admitting right here, but we had nothing to do with it. European trade goods, colonial rum. They brought alcohol, treachery, disabling epidemics of disease. We're talking about Deuteronomy 28. That's all we're talking about right now. Have you been following me all these years? We're just talking about Deuteronomy 28 right here, okay? The treachery, their plagues, the diseases, the epidemics, and rapid depletion of wild game. They will kill all your ox. Deuteronomy 28 caused the Indians to become increasingly dependent upon trade with European colonials. All right, they forced them to deal with them. They forced the Indians to deal with the Europeans. Iron pots, brass, kettles, guns, and ammunition, glass beads, bells, mirrors, cloth, vermilion, iron axes, knives, glass bottles, and other foreign trade goods caught the fancy of the natives. Objects of native craftsmanship rapidly declined in number and quality. They degenerated in form and design, and those remaining often became a combination of the old and the new tiny glass beads rather than fur quills or fiber, were used for ornamenting cloth and leather. Reworked metal, brass, copper, silver, iron, and gold was fashioned into ornaments and tools. Even projectile points were sometimes made from broken glass or iron. Though metal tools had many advantages over stone tools, the natives never again captured the remarkable designs and craftsmanship of the prehistoric cultures. Right? Yeah, we got some Paleo Indian period stones. Okay. Some of the stuff they're talking about, right? We know this. They found numerous of this all over the Americas, all over. We got Archaic period, place 3 and 4 right here, it says. Look at this. Rolled copper beads made from strips of hammered native copper, longest about 5 1/8 diameter. Okay. If you like to pause and read at any point, go ahead and do that. So this is from the Archaic, they're saying, you know, older stuff. Look at this one, very polished. Large full groove limestone axe found with Archaic artifacts. Many worked bone and antler tools were left by Archaic people. Turkey bones and all that. Woodland period starts getting more nice to design. Now you got bows and arrows, right? Look at this design. I just drew this today. Hey, Rob knows what I'm talking about. I showed him this today. I ain't lying. Says here a conical burial mound which has been cleared and stocked for excavation. Yeah, for destruction and for looting. What you mean excavation? Who told you that was right? Who told you how to excavate that? Restored straight base platform pipe found in a cave. It was broken and the pieces were scattered over an area. Hold on, let me just over an area. Sorry. Of 16 feet in diameter. This is a restored drawing of a broken pottery vessel, and you guys see here, conch shell necklace or bracelets. Look at this. Pretty cool things. Again, tools, their bowls. They had time to do this stuff, guys. Settle down in the true old world. Says here, a model of a truncated earth mound with a public building on top. So yeah, they put like these wooden things. They could have been even more complex than that, you know, not just a hut. And it says Mississippi period, and we got a burial, right, with all this stuff in it. All right, this desecrating tombs and the ancestors. You never know who these people were. Imagine, what if these are biblical people? Can you guys imagine? That's what I imagine when they do stuff like that. Like, how do they know who these people were? You know, these chiefs. Who were they in history, in the true history? Look at this. Look at this, man. I need to rock this today. Things like this are very expensive today. Like I've seen a necklace like this. They're trying to sell it for like $200, $300 on Amazon and stuff. You know, I'm talking about with real beads. You know, real gems and crystals and all that. Real workmanship. Okay, look at this. Look at his braid in the back. Yeah, see that? Pretty cool, right? Says here, shell-tempered dog effigy, painted long neck, bottled negative, painted dark brown, almost black point outlines and designs on the light cream pottery base. The dark paint is powdery, much has scaled off and left only a stain. This is a remarkably fine specimen. Sun circle designs on side, sun circle designs on side, all right. Davidson County, Tennessee. Okay. Okay, now you see that? Let me see if we can get like a, if it comes up. Well, it kind of almost, right? You guys see the red cross and the X? You see the cross? You guys see the cross? Nah, nah. There you go. Oh, that's the British Red Cross, but that's not what I'm trying to show you guys. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyways, go back. You guys see that? This ain't no Christianity symbol. That's nothing to do with Christianity. That's just adopted by Christianity. And who said he got hung on a cross anyways? It says tree in the New Testament. Like 3 or 4 times he got hung on a tree. That's what it says. Go reread it. Look at this. Hey, Shermanator, appreciate you. Thank you very much for the donations. You want to comment, make sure to subscribe to the channel. You see the difference, guys, when I make them subscribe? We ain't getting no trolls. They don't watch my videos. They ain't subscribed. Look at these necklaces, earrings. What's it? Hooks, fish hooks. Look at that. Copper covered wooden disc. We got some shell pendant, muscle shell spoon, shell gorget with insides world quarters cross, second row copper ear spools, bone fish hooks, right? Fish hooks. They were fishing. And this is some of the places. You guys see this? Some of the ancient sites of North America, like the eastern part of North America. It says distribution of sites and culture units during the Middle Woodland period. These are drawings they did. And you can see the tattoos and the designs on her body. Look at that. Just like the pigs. Weren't the pigs tattooed? Weren't the pigs tattooed? Yeah, if you'd like to support my my work, I have a Patreon page. It's on the description of the video. You can also join the channel. I have a lot of great books and exclusive videos on my Patreon. So it's up to you. No pressure. And also you can donate here on the live chat. There's a way to do it. But again, no pressure, how you want to do it. And I don't, I appreciate everybody, with the thought. Appreciate everybody with the thought. That's not really, my intention always to like come try to get donations. Like this book right here, what we're gonna see, like these artifacts, this should have been shown to us when we were little and emphasized and in more detail. We would have grew up different, guys. We would have, we would have been in that spell. Some drawings here. The agriculture going on, huh? Agriculture. That's how you start civilization. More maps. So they're going over it says here above, tribes and linguistic stocks in the eastern United States, circa 1700, all right? So like language stocks, right? So we got Algonquin language, Rokuan, Caddoan, Siouan. So again, the Catawba, and over here, the Eastern Siouans people. Eastern Siouan people. The Karankawa over here, we've talked about them. The Atacapa, the Yuchi, Guyuchi. We've talked about a lot of these tribes. The Temuqua. And just a little design they got here. Hey, Slug, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. Daniela, welcome to the Kurimeo Club. Thank you. I really appreciate you for that. And here, look at this. Look at this. Powder horn. Huh? Horn, huh? Blow the horn, man. Blow the horn. Powder lateral or scoop above horn is 3, 5, 16 long. The figures were carefully cut into this horn in thin outline, and the lines appear to have been filled with pine, tar, or pitch. The 32 figures of the total design carved around the entire surface are shown below. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, you see that? You see what it has? Bunch of animals. Look at that. Pretty cool, right? It says here, native trade. So a lot of trade going on. It says here there was far more travel among the Indians than is usually supposed, right? Not supposed, they don't want us to know that we were trading back and forth, all right? They don't want us to know that. There are well-authenticated cases of Indians having gone on visits to a series of distant friendly tribes, covering from 1,000 to 2,000 miles, and being absent from home for 2 months or more. A friendly visitor with a new sacred or social dance was always welcome in any Indian village, and great pains were taken to learn it. All right, you guys hear that? In times of war, when on special missions, they went much farther. For example, Tecumseh or his agents covered the entire country from the Seminole of Florida to the tribes on the headwaters of the Missouri River. The Iroquois of central New York were familiar with the country as far west as the Black Hills of Dakota. Once they returned with prisoners, all right, that's what they did, enslaving everybody, the Iroquois. Future video, they moved like the Roman Empire. Future video, the same Indians went from New York to South Carolina, all right? The same Indians, what did they do? They went to South Carolina to attack the Catawba and into Florida against the Creeks. South Carolina, huh? Where James Brown's people's from, right? Possibly a Catawba Indian instead of Apache. Hey, Daniela, thank you. Appreciate the donation. Thank you very much. And welcome to the club. So, again, future video, the Iroquois, just conquering people. Just conquering people. We'll see how they moved, how they got down, resembling some old world people. And written about like that in many books. So there's chapters about the whole trade, definitely get into it, get the book. Definitely, the reason is they gotta emphasize it is because they don't want, like they said it earlier, they never really emphasize how far they traded. You gotta understand, there's in Ohio, in the Ohio Mountains, they found, pipes with toucan birds and all that. Where's the toucan bird? Usually in the tropical area, Central America or South America. And then vice versa, they'll find things in South America that's only found in North America. Right? So yeah, a lot of long distance trading, not just 1,000, 2,000, but a lot, very far. They had ships too, remember, ships. So a lot of trade going on. Okay. Look at this. Okay, hold on. Historic trade. It says, Duprat speaks of a Jasu who asserted he had been as far west as the shores of the Pacific, all the way to Cali. Some Chickasaw are said to have reached Mexico. But where were the Chickasaw coming from, guys? Mexico, right? So of course they maintained trade. Of course they maintained trade. They were coming from there. And we know that they constantly crossed the Mississippi to make war on the Caddo. General Milford claims to have taken a band of Creeks far up Red River to a place where they believed their ancestors formerly lived. Red River, huh? But in his time, the western emigration of the Southern Indians, due to the pressure of the whites, so-called white Europeans, and the attractiveness of western hunting fields had already begun. In late colonial times, there appears to have been Chickasaw settlements in Pennsylvania. And in the early part of the 18th century, the Iroquois, on one side and the Cherokee and Sioux Indians on the other, maintained a bitter war. Most of this, however, was at a relatively late period. All right, really late into the game, the stage. All right, let's get to some interesting, more info here and more artifacts. Look at this. This pipe. These are pipes. The map of the trade. Some stone here. All right. So ceremonial. Since the archaeological investigations of the sites of Etowah and Mountville, it has been apparent that there exists in the southeastern United States a complex of specific motives and ceremonial objects. The recent discoveries at Spiro, Oklahoma, and the reappearance of Cushing's Key Marco photographs re-emphasize the presence of this complex throughout the Southeast, extending from Oklahoma to Florida, from the Gulf to the Great Lakes. Unfortunately, the bulk of this material has never been subjected to adequate analysis. Unfortunately, they left this out of investigation, right? They didn't care, or they did it purposely. Unfortunately, yeah, manifest destiny, right? That's savage. Let's not write about that. Hey, Lady Elaine Queen, welcome to the Kurimeo Club. Hey, appreciate you. Thank you very much. So yeah, unfortunately, they didn't really care to tell us or emphasize. They wanted us to go be in this fairy tale imagination, thinking of ancient Egypt over there, whereas it wasn't even over there. And then, oh, they had some great things. You got to just imagine it and picture it, imagine it. But over here, we had the actual, actual sources, actual tangible artifacts, and they never showed it to us. Tangible things you can see and touch. Right. So yeah, motives. So it says some of the stuff they got, the sun circle includes various forms of rayed and scallop circles. They may undergo modifications, however, and the center may contain concentric circles, a spiral, the cross, or the open eye. The commonest appearance of this motif is on the familiar Middle Mississippian painted bottle forms. The bilobed arrow consists of two kidney-shaped lobes separated by a down-pointing arrow. The edges of the lobes may be plain or scalloped. A band connects the lobes at the midpoint, and a line, presumably representing a bowstring, passes from the apex of each lobe to the butt of the arrow shaft, all right? And then it got the forked eye, occurs in innumerable variations. It is characterized by a circumocular marking, which may be biforked, triforked, or even with the zigzag lines down the face, which McCurdy has suggested might represent tears. Painted tears are on the face, huh? Who does that today? This last variation is interpreted by Wittenberg as representing the flashing eye of the Thunderbird. These are interesting speculations. Huh, the Thunderbird. If we ever continue our top series, we were heading towards America. Who's the Thunderbird, huh? These are interesting speculations. We should like to point out, however, that Yakovlev has held that closely similar eye markings in Peruvian art were derived from the natural eye markings of members of the Falconidae, just like the Ra eye of Horus and the Ra, the eye, the one eye. Down here it says the hand and eye. Again, the hand and eye, huh? Consists of an extended hand containing a naturalistic eye in the center of the palm. Wait, where have I heard this or seen this before? Huh? Both nails and volar markings are frequently shown upon the same example. The eye may be replaced by a cross in a circle. So, the hand and eye, huh? What's a hamsa, guys? You guys know what a hamsa is? The eye and the hand, right? The hand and eye, huh? What does it say? Early use, history, right? Look what it's gonna say. Origin, early use of the hamsa could be traced to ancient Mesopotamia. Oh, then, well, we got it, so you must be talking about here then. Hey, Lady Elaine, thank you. Appreciate you for the donation. Thank you very much. Artifacts in the amulets of the goddess Inanna or Ishtar. No, look at this, citation needed. No source. The image of the open right hand is also seen in Carthage, modern-day Tunisia, and ancient North Africa and Phoenicia colonies in the Iberian Peninsula. So that's what they're saying Carthage was. Dodge the hijack. We have a Cartago and Cartagena here in the Americas, right? And we got a Cartago in Costa Rica, which was our first capital, and then we got Cartagena, which both of them means Carthage. Cartagena, very ancient place in Colombia. And it says that 8th entry BC Israelite tomb also had it, huh? An Israelite symbol, huh? But what I wanted to point out is they don't say nothing about America here. They always tell us that this symbol is from that side of the world, and this stuff shouldn't be found here, guys. Look at this. It is speculated that Sephardic Jews were among the first to use this amulet due to their beliefs about the evil eye. Uh-oh. The symbol of the hand appears in Kabbalistic manuscript and amulets, Dublin, as the Hebrew letter Shin. the first letter of Shaddai, one of the names referring to God. The use of the Hamsa in Jewish culture has been intermittent, utilized often by Jews. By who? Hebrews, Israelites, during the late 19th, early 20th centuries. So this is very recent now. Now they use it, huh? Now they use it for their Kabbalistic rituals, huh? The Chazars. They're talking about the Chazars. You know. And then you got the Kamsa. You know, in Hindustan, this is very popular. They found this symbol all around the world. Right? So what are we showing here? That let's have it here too. And very, very ancient form of it. Archaic, more archaic form of it found here in the mounds. An open eye is also found, a barred oval, death motives, god animal representations, you know, like the bird man, right? Or the jaguar man, what they call anthropomorphized, you know, half human, half animal, right? They got that all here. The rattlesnake, look at that. The cat, human. Ceremony objects, many, many. Again, you guys can pause if you would like to read this, or just go ahead and find it on your own, the book. I mean, it's free. All you gotta do is have an email, right? We're gonna get into some. So Carmela pendants, the mask gorget. So these are the symbols they're talking about. They're describing the symbols we're about to see, guys. The copper symbol badgers, sheet copper hair emblems, embossed copper plates, celts of stone or copper, the monolithic axe, the baton, effigy pipes, scallop stone discs, discoidal stones, conch bowls, ceremonial flints, certain bottles, custom. Specific elements of custom constitute a group of elaborate identities between these widely separated sites. They appear in the various god-animal representations and survive in their non-perishable parts, with the burials themselves. The group of elements which we recognize is as follows. So headdress and hair ornament, body ornament and skirt, and paraphernalia. All right, and then you got all that underneath. So all these appear in the Edowa plates, he's saying. Look at this. The fringed apron, right? Let's see something real quick. Let's just investigate something real quick. So we're going to Numbers 15 in the Old Testament or Torah. Then it say something about, doesn't say something here about something like that. Can you guys help me with the verse? You guys remember the verse, the exact verse? In Numbers, hold on. All right, I'm gonna have to Google it. You guys ain't helping. Come on. $1538. Okay. Come on, guys. Why don't you help me? Tassels on garments. That's why they call them tassels or fringes. And Hawa said to Moses, speak to the Israelites and say to them, throughout the generations to come, you are to make tassels or fringes on the corners of your garment with a blue cord on each tassel. You will have these tassels. You will have these fringes to look at. And so you will remember all the commandments of Hawa, that you may obey them and not prostitute yourself by chasing after the lust of your own hearts and eyes. But we forgot. The fringed apron and the columella pendant occur almost invariably on the eagle being as well as on the chunky player. All right, so not only in drawings, but on the people, on the people, that was part of their customs, right? The eagle being occasionally appears without the French apron, but with a breechcloth and knotted sash. Yeah, aprons are in there too. Hey, Ken, you ain't hearing? You ain't paying attention? Come on, man. I'm just messing. Gotta be ready to help me, man. I know you got the verse. All right. We're gonna get into the artifact soon. Hold up. It's about to show up. It's about to show up. The hand and eye. Okay, the hand and eye. Georgia. Georgia. Okay, guys. Let's see what we're gonna get into some stuff here. So Mexican influences, they're saying. So I guess some of the symbols, right? Pretty cool, right? Got the hand and eye right here. I mean the eye and the hand. But we're gonna see the actual artifacts too. We got another burial here. Accompanying artifacts include a pottery bottle, stone kettles, and other broken pottery vessels. Cultura Archaica, Tlatilco, Mexico. So just like in Mexico, they found stuff like this in the mounds. As it says here, Central American similarities. You know, bar gorgets, drill beads, boat stones, rudimentary isomorphic forms, pottery, stamp decoration, circular ear spools, burial mounds, and celts of the Woodland period. Some Lake Archaic also are similar to certain Central American objects, styles, and techniques. Even more noticeable similarities are found in the Mississippi period and symbols, ceremonial paraphernalia, truncated earth mounds, planned agricultural villages, and certain artifact burial urns. Long neck pottery vessels, painted, engraved, and black filmed pottery, modeled effigy vessels and vessel handles, and stone forms, kelp, spatulate objects, roller, pestle, paint palette, image bowl, and monolithic axe. There has been frequent speculation as to the probable relationship between the Middle Mississippi period culture of the southeastern United States and the cultures of Central America. I've been trying to tell you, we family, but a lot of you stubborn, stuck on looks and physical complexions only. But I've been trying to tell you, a lot of us are family. You're looking at what I look like outside, you're not looking at my heart or my blood, my spirit. We family. Holmes referred to this and to possible Caribbean influence. So, I mean, we know. I mean, I know a lot of you already know this, right? Look at these designs. Figure 5. God animal representations. A, B, C, and F variations of the anthropomorphized eagle being from Etowah and spiral. Note the interesting correspondence and detail in the copper plate from Etowah and the plate from spiral. All right, the Birdman, huh? Birdman, eagle warrior, Birdman, Birdman, huh? Let me see something. Birdman, Babylon, Birdman, Babylon, Birdman, Babylon. Come on, man. You know what I'm talking about. This Birdman, not the rapper. All right, you tell me, guys, what's the difference? It's supposed to be from ancient Babylon, right? But he got tassels and fringes, and he got corn in his hand. He got corn. He got a watch. He got a Rolex and everything. Right? The Birdman, huh? So-called Anunnaki. Oh, you mean Anawakian. Oh, you mean Anawakan. Anawak. Anuwaki. Anawakan. Oh, the ones the gods who brought the corn. That's who you're talking about. They help us become civilized because they brought their corn and their knowledge. The Birdman. The Birdman brought the corn. The Birdman brought the corn. The courage of Yahweh, huh? The Birdman. Says the eagle among the Muskogeans. The eagle is regarded among the Muskogean as a mighty bird, great king. The symbolic meaning of its white tail feathers is made plain by a passage in a speech delivered by Tomochichi, all right, a Creek chief. I know people who descend from Tomochichi, and I know people who are related to Tomochichi, their sister, they descend through his sister. Shout out to Rob, all right? Shout out to Back for What's Mine. Yeah, I know who your ancestors are. Okay, so Tomochichi, a Creek chief, when presented to King George II by Governor Oglethorpe during their visit to England, 1734, says, "These are the feathers of the eagle, which is the swiftest of birds, and who flieth all around our nations. The feathers are a sign of peace in our land, and have been carried from town to town there, and we have brought them over to leave with you, O great king, as a sign of everlasting peace." Peace. You hear what Tomochichi told them? So their portrait was painted, guys. And they're copper colored, right? Melanated people, they painted. All right, a lot of people's ancestors in that portrait. So they're talking about the eagles, the importing of the eagle, right? All right, again, make sure if you want to get the details, a lot of good reading in this book. Get the book on your own and go ahead and take it, get a reading. You can understand better a little bit if you want, The Peabody Museum in Cambridge, that's one of my favorite museums growing up in Boston. The Natural History Museum. They had so many cool things. I used to love going there on field trips. The swastika cross symbol, huh? So how could it be a swastika if that's from the 1930s and 40s? Yeah, it's the other way around. They're copying somebody. No, and we're not copying the Germans, there's a reason they chose that symbol and flipped it, right? Yeah. Says, regarding a breastplate or circular gorget of copper found in Etowah. The central portion shows one form of swastika and probably symbolizes the moving winds, probably. By the whole symbol being a variant of the straight arm cross within a circle, which is so characteristic of this region. So many of this found in this region. On a breastplate, though, is that a symbol of a special people? And I think it is. Shout out to Rob, putting some clarification with me earlier when we were on a phone call. Symbol of a specific people. So, Moore found several pendants of the same material, copper, similar shape at Moundville, 4 of which had swastika. of the same pattern at the larger end below, which was a triangular opening. All right, that's not a, we had all these symbols here, and they can't explain how or why it's here, guys. So if they can't tell you why it's here, why do we allow them to tell us why it's supposedly here? Oh, it must have been some Egyptians or Hindus that came. It must have. We don't actually know. Maybe it was some Europeans brought it over, and they say they buried in there after in the mounds. So that's the hijack. The cosmic or world symbol. It may be well to speak more specifically of the cosmic or world symbol, which in itself or in some of its parts formed so important a part of the symbolism of the Muskogean tribes. It was by no means confined to this area, but in no other section of America does it seem to have occupied so conspicuous a place in the culture of the people. To the Indian, the world was a body of land, like a great island entirely surrounded by water. This was covered by a great dome, across which the sun took its daily course from the east to west. The water extended to the lower, a great dome under the firmament. The water extended to the lower edge of this sky dome. Sky dome, listen, this is their cosmology, which formed a great circle enclosing both water and land. The four cardinal points were determined by the course of the sun and the direction of the winds, which came from the north, south, east, and west. The Indians therefore graphically represented the world by one or more circles enclosed in a cross, and with or without a central circle, which symbolized the sun and the zenith. At the period of its greatest power, this doubtless explains why in so many representations of the sun there is a cross in its center. It is the meeting point of the lines of the four directions. Excellent pictures of the sun showing the central cross appear on 2 of the 3 water bottles from the Temple Mount. We find it in the rituals and legends of the Indians generally. Considerable data bearing on this subject, but it is usually fragmentary. They don't want you to know. Why? The Cherokee thought the earth was a great island floating in a sea of water. The waters beneath the waters, or the waters above, right? And suspended at each of the 4 cardinal points by a cord hanging down from the sky vault, which was of solid rock, the sky vault or the firmament. The sun, as we have seen, was the supreme deity of the Natchez, thus the hijack, and the perpetual fire so carefully preserved by various tribes of this region was derived from the sun and was the symbol of the great luminary. In the Creek migration legend, the Casita, Coweta, and Chickasaw, when at the forks of the Red River were at a loss for fire, they were visited by the Heya Yalgi, 4 men who came from the 4 corners of the world, who started it for them. And explaining the above, Gatchis writes, the Heya Yalgi coming from the 4 corners of the world to light the sacred fire. The symbol of the sun are the winds fanning it to a higher flame. All right. Serpent symbol. So far as the present writer has been able to learn, no serpent gorgets have been taken from the Temple Mount at Etowah. This seems to indicate that the tattooed or spotted serpent was not a patron of the royal family at Etowah. But we do find this all over other places, right? In North America, Central and South America. So the serpent now they're talking about. So look at this, the Cherokee who overran the eastern Tennessee and northern Georgia at a period probably not long antedating the arrival of the Spaniards, have legends relating to the encounters with the serpent, which was said to dwell in the mountains. Are you talking about the Dracan? A dragon? And then it goes on to talk about the sun. Right? And here you go, guys. This is some of the stuff they're talking about. This is how they represented the world. They're talking about the firmament and everything. Look at that. Yeah, this is from the mounds. This is definitely not modern. So not sure if you're asking or just saying. Um, this is not modern at all. Okay. You gotta understand there's an origin to everything. Like culture means something. Culture, right? There's a reason why we still draw certain things, why there's still certain symbols that you see in the world. No, I'm not muted. Why you guys can't hear me? Hello? You guys can't hear me? Shermanator says if I'm muted, can you guys hear me? Make sure you guys can hear me. So when I go, you guys hear the music when I put it up? No? Are you guys hearing the music? Yeah, you should be able to hear the music. All right. Thank you. And you can hear the music too when I put it up, right? Okay. Thank you. Yeah, Shermanator, something's wrong with your audio, man. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Yeah, I'm not taking a break. I'm putting up the music so you can observe the image, you know? What I see in the left here, I'm sorry, in the right, it's almost like literally that's a feathered serpent right there, guys. Look, a feathered serpent, a dracon. Look at the rattle at the end, and you got feathers looking like the what they call the swastika, right? Look at, and again, this ain't a Christianity symbol. He's talking about the earth, how they represented it with the dome, waters, between the waters. So these right here are actually from actual artifacts. You see what's drawn right there? Do you remember who you are? It does look like the Nazca stuff, right? It says fragments of engraved shells. This is what we're looking at right here. Hand showing nails, joints, abstract eye, wrinkles at wrist, and shell beads. Right? Fragment of engraved shell, dipper or ceremonial cup, 9 inches diameter, tattooed human figure, and symbols, a tattooed human, right? Like the pics. Like the pics, right? Where the pics really coming from, huh? Why they look like a lot of the American Indians? They sound like, when they describe the pigs, like a lot of the American Indians, as you guys can see here, right? You remember who you are? Wow. So as you guys can see, they're wearing the aprons with the fringes, right? With the fringes on them, the tassels. That's like was instructed to Hawa, to Moses, to tell the people, Israelites, to do. Yeah. The Hamsa again, right? Right? And this is supposed to be from the other side of the world. What's it doing here? Where is it really originating, huh? Who really brought this out to the world, huh? With the corn and where everything else, huh? So it says here, dancers, right? And eagle paraphernalia, they call it paraphernalia. Hold on, guys. Okay, sorry, I was checking my phone real quick. And we continue. It's a lot of good images still coming up. Hey guys, I share a lot of those books I read on my Patreon page, but I do want to say, with all respect, catching up on my older videos is essential. It is, I highly recommend you do that. I would actually like everybody to do that if they hadn't, if you're new to my channel. There's a lot of info. It's a whole journey we took, right? And as we were discovering things, there's a lot of details we put into certain videos. And even if you go read the book, there was maybe something I was saying or explaining or I was showing in the video that might make you more aware or informed of something. So I highly recommend you guys do take the time to catch up on all my videos. They're all connected, but I appreciate all the support always. It says here, typical Moundville pottery vessel which have been restored. It says duck effigy bowl on the bottom. Look at this. Pretty cool, right? So again, a lot of this stuff they're saying, resembles the Central American cultures. We got so much of this pottery here in Costa Rica that resembles this. Same designs and everything. And when I show the book and what they found here, I'll show you guys. You'll see it's the exact same. It's the exact same. Prehistoric Moundville. So pretty cool designs, you kind of get ideas where they get these tattoo designs and all the, but as you guys can see, like tribal tattoos, just like the Maori people in the Pacific Islands, and I can imagine the pigs as well, like that. And so we did similar things here in the Americas. And again, more of the Hamsa all over the place. Look at this, guys. Come on. You guys gotta understand how big this is. This is not supposed to be found here. But they'll put it in this book and won't mention, oh yeah, this is supposed to be an old world symbol. We don't know why it's here. Actually, when they told us in school this was from the old world on that side, they still have that in textbooks today. That this symbol is only found in that part of the world or originated in that other part of the world, not in America or nothing like that. Before it was a conspiracy to talk about the Hamsa signal here in the Americas. Oh, that's a conspiracy. Oh, that's look at it. It's all over the Southeast. A beetle? Let me see. I don't know. Again, it's like what I'm saying, like the tattoo designs and everything. Look, people were doing these same designs. Why not? And I was talking to Rob earlier, and I was like, "Hey, Rob, we're talking about War Chief, Red Lion Pacana, Red Lion Pacana. Um, like just when I was a kid, just sit down drawing random stuff, random symbols and symmetrical patterns, just like this, because it's inside of us." Hmm. Pretty cool designs, huh? Yeah. Hope you guys enjoying the review of this book. I think it's great. I think it's apart from all the some the added hijack, and the guesses. We believe this, we believe that. At least you can see it for yourself visually, and there's no denying how advanced ancient Americans were and how similar to what they're saying old world people are. And if they can't tell you who you are, then how can they tell you who you're not? Drop Nation, shout out to 432 the Drop Radio, brother Con Drop. Some more designs here. We actually went over this, I believe, one day when we was in my Patreon live, their private exclusive video we went live on there. Yeah. Let's add a little bit of music. Honor the ancestors. So they cremated their dead, right? They had urns and placed these in the burial chambers as well. And they had special designs on those too to hold their ancestors, all right? You know, civilized people. All these vases, we have a video how they were, you know, these anthropologists were like, oh, these archaeologists like, wow, this is just like the ones found in ancient Egypt. It even had the same symbol, meaning the civilized land. Literally what they were telling us, which meant civilized land. Look at these amazing urns. Some more designs. Wow. And I just want to ask you, do you remember who you are? From Alabama. See that? Yeah, see that? That's not a Christianity symbol. see. Wow. Welcome, welcome. says here, right? Crowning terrace of the Great Mound on the Maurice Key, showing platforms and concho facings. All right. So this is some in Florida. All right. No, I wasn't talking. I just had you guys hearing the music, enjoying the images. You know, it's a lot of reading. I mean, that's a whole book to read, but I want to show you guys the images. You guys want to go ahead and read this on your own, make sure to find it, and I'll probably scan it eventually for myself to have, and I'll put it on the Patreon. Until then, you can find it online. Figurehead of a deer, magical ceremonial object, it says. And look at the cat. Look at this, guys. This is amazing right here. This is what they were saying. They found figurines or statuettes just like the ones in Egypt about the cat. The died is Bess or Bass, right? I think it's Bass. Okay. Yep. So Bass. Hold on. That's that. Right? Jaguar warrior. Bass. You see this? Come on, guys. Open your eyes. You see this? It's the same thing. It's the original. And kneeling down, just like the ones in Egypt. They have her kneeling down the same exact way. I have a video actually on this, how they reported this. Not sure if this is the one in Illinois, but I think they're in Florida right now. So this is in Florida, and they found a bunch of them in Illinois, in the Burroughs Cave, and all over the place, just like the ancient Egyptians. And look at these. These are pretty cool. Really, really cool. Key Marco, Florida. Just in time. That's the hijack. A lot of these drawings are from those older books. Sometimes we gotta touch the hijack because they were trying to make the Indians look like they were worshiping stuff. A lot of the time. Whether they were, maybe some of them, but in general, a lot of the times they like kind of exaggerated on the drawings and made them. The idea was to make them look savage, that they needed Christianity, right? So that was their excuse. Look, they're worshiping stuff. They're half naked, right? So if you just got here, we were looking at some great artifacts earlier. We're still going, still looking at some more. Uh, look at those hands, guys. Look at the look at the hands. Copper colored tribes of America. No, they knew. That's why they put that. So how to make fire, right? I think how to make fire and all that. Aboriginal pipes. Oh, drills, handmade drills. Simple life, yo. Simple life. When we had plenty, abundance, and lived in tune with the Great Spirit. That's the Archaic. So this is again a little part in Florida. They're presenting right now. Okay. Some spear points. Look at that. These things, a lot of these are very, very sharp. I got a couple. I got one somebody sent me. One of these implements. Pretty cool. It says Indian Museum diorama showing an Indian family living in a cave on rock shelter. Gosh, to hide that, like when America was great, huh? Is that an underground entrance? Is that a building? That geopolymer, or is it really a cave? How you grind the corn? You want to make the masa? Look at that. Tortilla? Anybody want some tortilla? Some cornbread? Haha. Grinding stones. about that. My fault, guys. I was talking a little bit muted. No, I was talking a lot today. You must have just joined us. My fault. I was muted right now. My fault. I was saying some pretty cool things. Too bad. I was just saying, sports, Mount Olympus, all that. This is the real Olympics. This is, sports. You gotta remember, sports was used for war too, to settle disputes and for training for war. Sports were, we read this in my ancient sports videos, guys. These are like weights right here. This is for like training and stuff. As it says in here, the brief says the youth at their exercises. They were training. They were always mastering their skills. That's why the Americas, very talented with sports. There he is. My fault. If the music ain't too loud, guys, that means I'm probably muted. When I put the music really loud, it's when I'm just being quiet, My fault, my fault. I got a little sidetracked, Being here for almost 2 hours now. So check this out. Pretty cool, right? Let's just read a little bit about it. Hold on, let me see. Okay, above it says stone images of a man and a woman. Tennessee. Right, it says depicts elderly man, excellent workmanship. All right. See that? Over here. Any questions? Do you remember who you are? Music going up, guys. Look at his gear, his whole thing, like look at his hoodie, whatever, helmet, what is yeah. The two views of a stone pipe, which appears to represent human sacrifice. Pierce. This executioner has in his hand a claw-shaped object, seemingly similar in shape to some of the ceremonial flints. Note, ear spools, clothing, board straps, two back and banded ornaments on arms and legs. So again, a pierce. That don't even look like a human. What do you mean sacrifice? That's not a human, guys. But I just, his whole costume is like intriguing to me. Here goes abuelo. Abuelo. That's my nose right there. That's a lot of people's nose, right? Yeah. This is a woman over here. That's a pipe. A very interesting pipe. Look at that. Another pipe. And there's pipes everywhere, right? Pipes are what? For smoking, right? Smoke up. That's what they did right there. Smoke up. for ceremonial purposes, for many different purposes. Heat resistant qualities. It says in the fabrication. Now check this out. G.A. West describes pipe manufacture, 1934. In the fabrication of aboriginal stone pipes, the most desirable material obtainable was chosen. All right, it's got to last long. It's got to be good quality. The selection of rock was determined by its heat-resistant qualities, its color, and its susceptibility of being easily worked into shape. In many instances, exceedingly hard rock was used, especially when it did not require an excessive amount of labor to give it to the desired shape. The type of stone used naturally varied with its accessibility. Many kinds of rock were employed by the Aboriginal for pipe making. Among the most common were catlinite, stalactite, sandstone, limestone, slate, granite, chlorite, diorite, and even fossil coral. Material for pipe making in its raw state, as well as after its manufacture into pipes, often became articles of commerce and reached distant tribes, right? They were like, yo, so people in Costa Rica was like, yo, somebody had this pipe, right? We're talking about ancient times, right? Mound building time, right? Mound culture time. And somebody in Costa Rica has this pipe, and his boy's like, yo, where you get that interesting pipe? He's like, man, I got this from Mississippi, man. And then they had they had a pipe coming from Costa Rica, you know? You guys get it? Okay. I'm gonna put the music up a little. Yeah. So they're saying these are massive pipes, meaning like larger, like very large pipes, very large pipes. They probably look small here, but they're probably a lot. Probably can pack a lot. That's what they're saying. You know, probably the ones they pass around. I don't know, or maybe just some prefer larger ones, right? Yeah. Pipe up there. Wow. What up, man? Man, what's Sumerians? What's Sumerians, man? What you talking about? Right now we're looking at just some copper artifacts they're showing right now. Says here above, left and right, two embossed copper hair ornaments, one bilob with a feather type object on top which has been broken. They show evidence of riveting. The one on the right still has a fragment of a bone pin attached. All right, hairpins, like guys, look, copper hair ornaments. Cool, right? You guys see? Same thing. But this is the original. Stamped on copper. Found in an ancient mound. You see? What's the origin of these things? What is the origin of all these things? They don't know why they find it in these ancient mounds. Man. Says here, in 1541, when the Chickasaw attacked De Soto's army, then in occupancy of their town, Bierma tells us that after the manner of Gideon, they brought fire in little pots, just like the Gideons, presumably made of clay, which wished to ignite the houses. We are also told that large pots were used in making salt in the province of Tanico, probably in southern Arkansas. Although Dupras's description of pottery making is thrown into a hypothetical form, it seems to represent the process as he had observed it among the Natchez. He says that the women go in search of heavy earth, examine it in the form of dust, example, before it had been wet, thrown out whatever grit they find, make a sufficiently firm mortar, and then establish the workshop on a flat board on which they shape the pottery with their fingers, smoothing it by means of a stone which is preserved with great care for this work. As fast as the earth dries, they put it on more, assisting with the hand of the other side. After all these operations, it is baked by means of a great fire. All right, everything by hand. Yeah, you see, an emblem, possibly of a special people, four corners, the four winds, traveling. But you guys see, before it was used by somebody else, we had all this stuff with the dots in the middle and everything. Just like this, they found that in Peru and South America, the mounds. All right, an ancient symbol all throughout the world. But again, there's an origin to everything. That's what people having a hard time accepting and understanding. It's okay. Hey, much love, Penny Lou. Thank you. Appreciate you very much. Thank you very much. All right. While we look at this ancient artifact and design from ancient America, not from Germany, 1930s and 40s. No. This is found in ancient America, in the mounds. And it wasn't no symbol of hate. Dodge the hijack. You know, I'm gonna tell you something right now. These chasers, they think they slick, demonizing the symbol. These chasers and acting the victims, right? The chasers, demonizing our indigenous symbols, emblems, family emblems. Viracocha, huh? The vessels on this plate are sewn stamped pottery vessels from a Woodland period site, Marksville, Louisiana. Below, 6 Marksville vessels. The 2 vessels on the lower row, decorated with her hearts and zoomorphic forms, are 4 to 13 to 16 and quarter inches high and 5 1/8 inches maximum diameter. Right there, they have notched rims. The vessel's upper row center has a decoration beneath the rim, which characterizes a number of Marksville vessels. Marksville, Louisiana. More. You see what they're finding in Louisiana? Look at this. Look at this. Wow. And the designs, right? We'll go into meditation mode again. Wow. Wow. Tawada. Wow. Mountville, Alabama. Wow. Much love, Eva. Thank you. Wow, they speak for themselves, right? Hey, much love, Nitzia. Appreciate it. Thank you. Ah. My fault. Thank you. Yeah. I was just showing how they hunt the animals, right? With the skins of the animals itself. And they're describing them right here in the sources. And then the masks, you know how they all look like animals? They did that on purpose so they wouldn't scare away the animals so they can hunt them closer, right? See that? Interesting, right? Antler artifacts. A lot of antler artifacts as well. And what I was saying as well as, we're heading towards the end of the book. I just wanted to make sure I showed you guys all the images. I appreciate you guys taking the time to be here today with me, going over this book, reviewing it, checking out the artifacts, reading a little bit of it. Go ahead and check it out if you're interested. Hey, much love, millennials best. Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody in the chat that came through in the live, stuck around the whole time. If you came a lot later, hope you enjoyed it as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this little book. I thought it was, I've been, I had it for a long time. I just wanted to do more with it, but I just never did. So, but it's good to have up for reference. You guys can see and remember the true old world, all the stuff they found here, they kept from us, right? In all these southeastern states, right? All over the Americas. So you got bone tool, needles, awls, fish hooks, projectile points, and others. All right. So we read a lot earlier. But look at that. They use the jaw of animals to like scrape off, things like a scraper, like a knife. Yeah, and the hooks, bone tools, and ornaments. Some of the designs on these things, not just the fact that they made tools, but they put designs on them, right? So they're just showing you a little bit of the designs here. Shell implements. So things out of shells, right? Tools. And in the ceremonies too, burial grounds. There are ornaments, many ornaments found with shells on them. All natural, all handcrafted. Pendants, necklaces, bracelets. Abundance. All kinds of different ways. And guess what? All free, right? They didn't have to buy it. Well, maybe they had to trade it if they didn't want to make it, right? They had to trade something to get their hands on it, or they got to make it themselves. Ornaments. That's ornamental stuff. Chains, necklaces. Mhm. See that? Zoom into this. See that? They found this in Virginia. Wow. Interesting. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, the etymology of Abyssinia means a mixed multitude, a mixed people. Nice little feather ornaments with eagle feathers. Says this is a Chickasaw, they say right here. Feather ornaments. the Timucua tribe, engraven by debris. And this is what I have in the thumbnail of this video. And all I did was grab this image, screenshot it, and I went to MyHeritage and colorized it with their software. And you guys will see the thumbnail at the end. That's what I got. Okay. And that's the end of this book. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this book and all the artifacts in it. I thought it was really good. I thought it's really interesting. Some of these symbols, the art, the skills, the talent. It's just, I think everything is pretty awesome. All the stuff, all this ancient American civilization. Hey, Gonzalez, man, too bad, man. We're at the end, man. You came right at the end, but don't worry, man. Just replay it, man. Once again, appreciate you guys being here. Let me get a song ready. Hold on. Before we go. Thanks for, again, tuning in. Appreciate everybody that was here. Shout out to all the members, all the new members on the channel, my Patreons. Anybody that's been supporting, all the family out there, thank you. Really appreciate it. See you guys possibly tomorrow or the next day with another presentation. Who knows what else we're gonna show. I try to keep it different all the time. I'm definitely coming out with a hot one on the Chase Art series. All I'm gonna say is 911 or 9/11. That's the subject. And why? What does it have to do with the Chase Arts? Don't miss that episode. Check out my Chase Art series on my Patreon. The last 3 were there. I'm gonna put the rest of them there. So I appreciate everybody that joined the Patreon because of that. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you for that. All right, hope you guys are enjoying it. Those 3 last parts, I think they're really deep. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed what we saw today. I hope you guys thought it was interesting. I mean, just look at this last image right here. All right, open your eye, open your eye, open your third eye, open your eye. Pura vida, much love. Wow.